Yo, what is up? You have found We Like the Blazers. Take two. I am Brandon Mullen, and over there, I'm sorry, is that Ryan motherfucking Whitledge? Wow. Unbelievable. It is. And also here, per usual, it is Connor Bergen. Connor, what's up, man?
Hey, happy to be here. Happy to be with my predecessor on this podcast. Great to be with the great Ryan Whitledge.
There's that great thing again. It made it into the take two. Jeez.
Right, I definitely did not forget to record the first time. Speaking of predecessor, Cass and I are watching this Life on Earth clone show on Netflix and talking about dinosaurs and different kinds of fish and like bacteria and algae and stuff. And so I just like to think that, Ryan, you're like the dinosaur fossil from which we're extracting the DNA, combining it with that of a frog, and now we've created...
You just call me old?
This weird this weird mutant dinosaur, Jurassic Park style. It is so good to see you. It's been a hot minute. What we're going to talk about today, two topics. One of them is about you as a fan. You have not followed the team as closely. You had a podcast for many years. We did a podcast for a couple of years, and you kind of checked out last year. We're going to talk about why that is, and then we also do want to talk a little bit about the two Summer League games that the Blazers have had. They've gone 1-1. So let's start with you, Ryan. I haven't seen you in a while. You walked away, you packed your bags, took your microphone, clapped it up, and got out of town. But now you come crawling back. So my question to you, why is it, sir, that you... I'm on a heater. Why is it, sir, that you, in fact, checked out from your Portland Trailblazers last season? What happened?
I think my checkout started a little bit before before last season. Just last season is finally when I decided to say that's it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. A big part of that was that, for me, my number one sport, it's always been basketball, and my number one team has always been the Blazers. I'm sitting in a room that is color-coded and themed, and most of my sports paraphernalia is all Blazers related.
Even the microphone, if you're not watching on YouTube.
Yes, even my microphone is Blazers colored. So it just got to a point to where I couldn't reasonably, for one, do a podcast where I talked about the team anymore. And I thought it was disingenuous if anybody was going to give the time to listen to my stupid voice in their ears, tell them about the team and my thoughts and feelings, that if I was faking it, that I couldn't do it anymore. It's something I really enjoyed doing. It made me feel like I had way more friends than I do. Nobody talks to him anymore. It's so lonely.
He didn't want to pull an Elaine Benez, everyone. He didn't want to fake it. Seinfeld reference? Okay, continue, sorry.
But just what drove me away is that I just felt that the team was being very disingenuous to its fans. I think that after so many years of, we're in year 9, 10 of a 5-year rebuild or something like that at this point. So yeah, I just not picking a direction, keeping, veterans, having the young guys, not or playing for wins when they should be tanking and losing, and vice versa. It seemed rudderless. And I finally got done feeling like they had earned or deserved my money or attention. So I think out of all of last season, I maybe attended one game, and it was a game that I was given tickets to. And that's about the extent. And I haven't really paid attention since. It's been in the periphery. I know Dame's back. As what I am just going to deem as the highest.
No parentheses needed. No air quotes.
He's the highest paid assistant coach on the or that they have right now. That's how I'm thinking of this year. But other than that, saw some interesting Anthony Simons quotes from a Boston media day or post workout. That's about what I know.
So you're telling me
I didn't even know that they already played a second preseason game. I thought there was only one still.
Okay. So dude over here saying he's more interested in Boston Anthony Simons quotes than anything that happened on the team last year. Connor, you were going to say, sorry.
I think a little bit you show what the toll it takes on fans to go through like 3 years of tanking and just no kind of vision of hope or ray of hope totally in sight. So I don't think what you're saying is like that's shocking, and I have my brothers who are, they didn't have a Blazers podcast as you and I both have or did, Ryan, but they are Blazers fans, and they also kind of lost touch with the team over the last few years. I think many people have kind of checked out.
So
and
wait a minute.
I'm also a Mariners baseball fan. There's only so much room for
We couldn't tell.
I was gonna
bad
say
sports in my life.
Well,
There's
no, you jumped to the
244
you
sporting
jumped
events
ship.
games.
You jumped ship to the better to the winning franchise right now.
That is, well, they kept that great Root Sports streaming app, so I had to go there. No, actually, think I still have to cancel that.
Aren't they? Yeah, they're fully dead now, right? Root Sports.
They die an official death, I think, in December.
RIP our regional sports networks, going the way again of the dinosaur. Although it has gotten much harder to know how am I going to watch a Blazers game this year? I have no idea. Last year, one of the editors of Blazers Edge, Tim, put together a guide on how you can stream stuff. I offered to put it together again this year. I guess not again for the first time this year, and I'm already confused. But Ryan, let me ask you a question. You said that the team was rudderless, okay? That the team had abused your trust by not picking a direction. You're telling me that there's no storyline last year, no player, no little nugget of development that you were interested in enough just to follow along, really?
Not a single one. I think the only other thing that I did
not Shea.
Nope. Not the emergence of Denny Avdia and one Tumani
Not Tumani Kamara?
Kamara is
not
like
Donovan Clingan?
Kamara is a fan favorite dream of just like
you weren't interested.
Kamara underdog story.
Jeremy Grant, the young upcoming. Just kidding. Sorry.
The one who's surprised that he's not going to get traded. Okay, so I may have picked up on a few more news nuggets. I do know the team's sold. We can also say that. Well, sold.
Do you know about Yang Hansen? The international.
Well, that's this year. To be fair,
that is true. That is this year.
But I do know him, and I am still figuring out to hear one repeat pronunciation of his name, because I don't think out of anybody that I've ever heard talk to him, I haven't ever heard two people say it the exact same way.
It's Yang Hansen. That's how you should pronounce it. It's not Yang Hansen. It's Yang Hansen. There you go. And if you're going to refer to him by his first name, it's Hansen. It's that simple. It's not, I mean, and like, I get it. Like, international player new to the NBA does take a little bit of time. I think people will get used to it. So, okay, that's
but to your question of like the little nuggets, like I wasn't picking those storylines. Well, no, I wasn't picking those storylines.
Oh, now you're a Denver Nuggets fan.
Well, it was because they ended up like those were the things that were frustrating me. How can I get interested in Scoot when you still are giving so much time to Anthony Simons? How can I get so interested in Shea when you're still giving that time to other like even Jeremy Grant or whatever? Don't get down the argument to threes versus fours and yada yada yada. But just everything that there was to get interested in, the organization was kneecapping my interest by keeping these other veteran players in.
That's fair. I mean, and something Connor, you and I have talked about that would have loved to have seen more last year, which I think we have a little bit more of this year, is role clarity, which, I mean, we still have some of that. It's like, is Jeremy Grant going to start? You have some like, hey, Jrue Holiday, like when Scoot comes back from his injury, like how much time is he going to get? But you still have some of that. But Ryan, that was then. This is now. You know that the team has been sold. We can talk about that. We know about Yang Hansen. We can talk about that. We know that Tumani Kamara is definitely going to be Defensive Player of the Year this year. I'm just curious, what is there? And I'm not even going to say is there. I'm going to say what is there about this current Trailblazers team that you find interesting as a disillusioned, disinterested, disengaged fan. Again, you took your recording equipment, you packed it in a U-Haul, and you got it out of there. And actually, your whole studio is still like perfectly put together. It looks better than mine. I'm jealous. But what is it about this team, if anything, that you're interested in this year?
I think this year now I am going to take an interest in Scoot with Anthony Simons being gone. He's going to have the runway. Jrue Holiday, I'm sure he'll get minutes, but this is basically with Dame coming back and rehabbing this whole year. This is Scoot's prove it year, and I believe this is now he's up for rookie extension now, right? That's coming around.
Sharp is Scoot's next year.
Next year, okay. So, but he's close to a prove it year. So, I mean, there's the ultimate thing is that when he was drafted, it chased Damian Lillard out of here. Basically the organization in Dame's mind at that point had made a choice. Well, now Dame's going to come back and we'll see who wins this. So I'm extremely interested in that. I am super interested to see if Shaedon can actually become in any way, shape, or form the baby Kobe nickname that so many people have given him.
Ooh, Wait, so I think comparing anyone to Kobe Bryant as a basketball player strictly, I think is a little fraught. We did.
It's a popular one out here in the Pacific Northwest radio land.
There's some aesthetics. There's some similar aesthetics. It's kind of like calling Yang Hansen Chinese Jokic. There's some overlap in styles.
I just call Jokic what country is Jokic from?
Serbia.
Specifically? Serbia. I call Jokic the Serbian Yang Hansen. That's what I say. Okay, so, the Blazers have played a couple preseason games. Scoot Henderson has not because he is out with a torn hamstring, which is not fun. But
great. This is how I learn of this.
Yeah, Ryan's already gone.
My interest. Man.
He's done.
Now I'm out till Christmas. All right.
I think that by the way, I get it. Last year, I really have to watch DeAndre Ayton and Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant soak up possession after possession after possession. Now we only have to see Jeremy Grant soak up possession after possession after possession. But I totally get it. I do think my pitch to people like you is that this season will legitimately have more things that are interesting to watch. And yes, when you're young and you're not really expected to win a whole lot of games, it's a fun surprise when you do. And I also think the Blazers have enough veteran presence between, especially Jrue Holiday, but Denny Avdia, Toumani Camara kind of looks and plays like a vet at this point, that you can expect the Blazers to have games where they look shockingly competent. How often that will happen, I don't know. Connor, what would you say if you were let's say that we're on Joe Cronin's payroll and we're trying to convince people to watch the team. What is it that you would say to convince them to watch this year's Blazers?
Please.
No. Yeah, I think a lot of those issues that Ryan is talking about last year, about just vets soaking up minutes and getting in the way of younger players and the kind of the storylines you're excited to see, that's all changed going into the season for the most part. There's still some, roster disputes, but minutes are there. And it stood out to me even just during training camp. Everybody seems, and the term of vibes and culture is almost becoming cliche at this point, even before the Miami Heat.
I think it's there. I think that
it's there. Once the Miami Heat put that saying on their hardwood court about
that was the fucking corniest thing I've ever seen.
It was really dumb.
Sorry,
but
that was
to that point though. There is culture and vibes are real things. And this year, everybody seems to be in a better place compared to the roster last year. From where different players are at, Toumani Camara and Denny Avdia have established themselves. They're coming in with confidence. Up and down the roster, people seem to fit the defensive identity and play style more. Even all the way down to switching out Delano Banton, who's a gunslinging, kind of inefficient 15th man. Now you have Blake Wesley, who's a role player, does the little stuff very fast, by the way. And I think also the team, the directive of, unless something goes horribly wrong this season, they're not going to tank. And I think that does a huge thing for a player's mental, just fatigue or whatever, or mental standing if they go in knowing they're gonna try to win games from the very beginning.
Well, and that's good from a checked out fan perspective, because I actually know what my rooting interest is. One of the things, not last season before I completely turned it off, but the season before, I felt, and again, it's internet's not real life, but we all kind of experience our fandom through things and in our online bubbles of fandom, and it's I'm cheering for a loss, and then I'm really, wait, hold on, why is everyone mad at me? Why are they mad about the loss? I thought that's what we wanted. So it's nice to, if fandom is going to have this collective rooting interest, if we can actually, I don't know, have that again.
Me root for win. I will say that there are games to be won in March and April if you're trying to win them. So if the Blazers, if they want to hit the over, which I believe has been set at 34.5 games. That's what I've seen most frequently. If the Blazers really want to gun for that over, there are games in March and April that are winnable if they're trying to win them. And yeah, I do think it'll be more interesting. I think the younger players being a year older is interesting. Ryan, this is great. It just came to mind. We had a good friend of ours at Blazers Edge, Paul Navarre. He put together a piece yesterday that was 3 somewhat unpopular Blazers opinions. And to Connor's point,
I guarantee you, I've thought them all. Probably got to go look.
You probably have. You probably ghost wrote it. No, just kidding. But to Connor's point, well, okay, one of the opinions was that Chauncey Billups, begrudgingly, is an above-average coach. That's what he said. He's staking his claim, and he says, I've had a lot of hesitation about Chauncey Billups. Part of what Paul said, to Connor's point, was that the team finally has a cohesive identity that matches what the coach wants to do, which is to play hard defensively. The Blazers have plenty of players who are able and willing to play hard defensively. Ryan, I ask you, again, I'm not asking you as an expert, I'm just asking you as a person in the world that just give me, I'll use the word vibes. Give me the vibes. Are you any higher, or are you willing to be higher on Chauncey Billups as a coach now that the team seems to have more defensive-minded players and can play more of the style that Chauncey Billups wants to play?
The ironic part, and it goes back to my last point, if now hopefully me and the rest of the fans can have a similar rooting interest, is I was pro Chauncey when everybody was against him during the hiring. And then as more fans tended to warm up to him, and I feel as though that he's kind of accepted now, I'm finding myself on the outs, and I'm like, he needs to go. He need a new coach.
Can't be, please.
So, and this kind of does tie back into like that Anthony Simons, like the whole like that little offhand comment he gave about like defense, and reading through that, and I'm like, didn't he just have a guy for 3 or 4 years who's considered a defensive specialist and a point guard, and he's like, I've never been shown how to poke a basketball. Like, what the hell, dude? So it's weird.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Which part? The Anthony Simons thing, the Simons part. With everybody.
NBA players are very media savvy, and part of your job as an NBA player is to be like a trained communicator in spaces where you're being recorded. And so I often think that when players say something, especially when they're veteran players, that it's more likely than just the average person on the street that when they say something that they kind of mean it. I mean, you can sometimes get people to say stuff extemporaneously, but I just thought what Simon said, that's funny. I thought what Simon said was pretty weird, especially considering that his coach was Chauncey Billups. And I don't know, like, what do you think?
Now I'm supposed to buy into this defensive identity? I mean, I guess if they start winning games, like winning them,
I don't know,
going back to the 80s style, like 78-72, sure, but
I think I'm much more prone to look at the second half of last season and the strides they made defensively as the telling sign of what's going to happen versus a kind of strange media day comment from Anthony Simons when he's now on a different team. Also, Anthony Simons, even with maybe the most defensive training, I don't know if he was ever going to excel on that end of the floor.
Wasn't necessarily all going to click for him, yeah.
That's more my point is, again, I'm not trying to, crap on Anthony Simons as I crap on Anthony Simons. I think it's weird of him to say. I think it's weird of him to say some version of like, no one taught me how to play defense. What are you talking? Like, what? Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. And I don't think it excuses his defensive deficiencies. We'll see if Anthony Simons, who, by the way, is tied for 9th in preseason scoring at 19.5 points per game.
He looked nice the other day.
From the dome.
He looked pretty nice.
If he becomes a defensive wizard under Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics, then sure. But I just thought it was weird for him to say, that's all. But
yeah, it's fair. Well, and to the point, though, of this defense, I do think, maybe they're not going to be like a top 5 defensive team. It's possible, but like they're going to be a good defensive team for sure. And to your point, Ryan, of wanting to root for something, what is more likable than like a hard, lunch pail, hard hat, getting in the construction zone type of defense? Did you
prep him on? Well, did you prep him on what I do for a living, Brandon?
Oh, do you work in construction?
I'm a construction foreman, yes.
Is that offensive? Is a non-construction person saying stuff about the construction hat, like lunch pail, is that offensive to the people actually in the industry?
Yes, I'm going to need a 3,000-word written apology, and please post it on all
These
your
hands,
socials.
these hands have not worked, man. These
No,
these
I
are
have
tight
Lily White
man,
hands.
no.
Connor, you're canceled.
No.
That's the end of the show.
So yes, to just say this, yes, there is something lovable by that, or about that. I did that. There is something always across all sports of like, if it comes off as like an everyday man kind of thing. Like, I think a lot of people think that they can like slap the court and maybe keep their body in front of somebody for basketball, but it's a little harder for them to like look up and see like, yeah, I can drain threes like that. So like,
wait a minute. When's the last time we've
thing,
seen someone slap the court, though? I do like that image. I haven't seen it in a bit.
Swear it happens at least. Like, that's a couple guys like warm-ups. Like
yeah,
before the
I do
ball's
it
even
at
tipped.
24-hour fitness every now and then to.
I'm gonna wait a minute.
To your
over under
note,
1.5 times that Jrue Holiday slaps the court on defense this year. I'll take
over
the under,
for a mortgage payment. I'll take the over.
I
But to the note on your construction thing, no, nothing you said could be as offensive as the fact I love this story. It was about 6 years ago. I'm working in downtown Portland. I'm outside on my break. We're doing a remodel of a building, and I just sit down to like have a cigarette back when I smoked, and I take my hard hat off and set it on the ground, and somebody came by and threw $1 in my hard hat because they thought I was a homeless guy. And I decided to just leave my hard hat there for break, and I made like $6 that break. And so then I went back out to the same exact spot the next day. That week, I made like an additional $200 accidentally panhandling.
That's crazy.
I hope you reported that on your taxes. Ryan, you just dropped some news.
I donated it to a
no
very
cigarettes.
good
Excuse me.
cause.
Don't gloss over that.
I'm 2 months
Sir.
free.
Wait. Say as someone who used to smoke, when people say that it intrigues me. I guess this isn't Blazers related. You don't have to share it, but yeah, I don't know. I caught that.
We like the Blazers.
Well,
round of
I would
applause.
say it's not 100% smoke free, but yes, I did go from being a significant smoker to, I think over the course of this past 2 months, I've maybe bummed a couple here or there. You know, the
Congratulations.
That,
that's
with
amazing.
the synapses it fires off in your brain, it's like quitting heroin.
Yeah.
I've found that I was much more of a habit guy. Like, I'm sitting at home, like my wife always hated that I smoked, so I try to not smoke as much here. So when I'm home, I don't get those cravings. When I hit certain parts on my drive to work, I get them, and then when I'm at work, that was where I did the most smoking. So then I walk around and I just yell at everyone there, so it's fine.
I'm sure that they appreciate that. Congratulations. Smoking is extremely difficult to quit, and it's one of the most addictive things on the planet. So congratulations on that. Let's talk about the preseason. And again, I'm not expecting you, Ryan, as the person who literally is on this podcast talking about how he checked out last year, to have followed everything that happened in the last two games. The Blazers are 1-1. They played the Warriors.
I'm going to listen, hoping your guys' excitement about it gets me excited. How about that? There we go.
That's interesting. I don't know how excited I am. Also, it's preseason. There are a couple of things to talk about, perhaps. But the Blazers, they had a lead and they blew it against the Warriors. They had a lead, they blew it against the Kings, but in the second game against the Kings, they were able to hold on for the win. And I think, let me do this. Connor, from those two games, what is it that has stood out to you? And again, maybe in the context of getting people like Ryan back on the train, back on the bus, but what has stood out to you in these first two games? Again, small sample size this preseason, but let's definitely over extrapolate and let's definitely jump to all sorts of conclusions. But what have you seen that has been of interest to you?
Kind of big picture, they seem like they're going to be able to do the things that they've been hyping up during training camp of playing faster and the big thing, hanging their hat on the defense. They are every guard who gets in the game, from Toumani Camara. I mean, he's not a guard, but you know what I mean. Toumani Camara, yeah. Jrue Holiday, Blake Wesley. They are all picking up 94 feet. Chris Murray, and they are looking to run practically every time they get the ball. So that stuff is promising, and I think it'll look, especially the offense. It's kind of coming along. It looked really good in the first game, then it looked pretty bad in the second game. But I am excited to see Scoot Henderson kind of get the keys on this offense, because it does seem tailor-made for the skills that make him very good.
I want to ask how, and I want to talk about Yang Hansen too, whose second game had a particular burst of activity, which was very interesting. But let's talk a little bit about Jrue Holiday. Veteran presence. He doesn't need preseason games to like know how to play NBA basketball, but I would argue he does need these preseason games to learn how to play with his teammates. Like there was a moment in the first game against the Warriors where he tried to pass inside to Klingon, and Klingon kind of fumbled it, and Klingon kind of pointed up like, next time lob the ball. And then in game number 2, you saw that Jrue actually lobbed it up to Klingon and he flushed it, and it was great. So what, have you seen anything from Jrue Holiday that like lets you know that like, yeah, he's starting to learn his teammates? Like, again, he's a pro, he'll figure it out, but like, how has that looked to your eye so far?
That's great that you asked that, Brandon, because I just wrote like a 1,000-word article for Blazers Edge all about how good Jrue Holiday has looked, how good of a presence.
And Ryan will read every
word. And he will
feel
give
like
me
that was a setup.
Yeah, and he will give me a synopsis of it. But he the leadership stuff was so hot, talked about when they got him. He's living up to every part of that. Like he seems like such a good presence, interacting with his teammates, giving them praise all the time. His teammates are talking about how he's pulling them aside to instruct them and help explain concepts. But then during that second game, you really just saw how effective he is. Like he just did so many little things that just showed like he's a pro's pro. Like he hit threes, he got paint touches, he got assists, he threw lobs. Did he
slap the floor?
No floor slaps, but he did pick up 94 feet. He did cause a offensive foul when he did that. That Chauncey Billups was at the half-court line really clapping it up. A media member turned to me during that game and he said, Jrue Holiday just seems like the perfect extension of everything this team is trying to do. And that is really what it felt like. So, all this stuff about money and like long-term fit, for right now, you can just see why they got Jrue Holiday, the player.
Now, one note that I find very funny as you began sharing that, I was excitedly going to tell you, for the recap last game, I found this perfect picture of Jrue Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe, and Jrue Holiday's kind of pointing, and then I saw that you used the same picture for your article. Come on, man,
yes.
we can't have repeat pictures. It makes you actually want to go back and change the image on the recap so that you alone can have that picture. But that's such a great encapsulation. And we always talk about, and Ryan, jump in whenever you want, but like we talk about, hey, will this veteran player embrace that role? The role of the mentor, I'm getting up there in age. What is he, 35, 36? 36. It's basically about to
stop
die.
Calling every NBA player over 35 old as dirt, because as I'm turning 40, I would not like to be considered dirt.
As I'm already 40, Connor is about to
I'm
turn...
not dirt. I'm pretty...
I'm 20-something. It's very embarrassing for me.
Oh, my God. How does it feel to have functioning knees? That's
man, I was playing basketball just the other day. It feels pretty good.
I'd be out
cherishing
for a week.
the moment.
Okay, braggy. So Jrue Holiday, looking good, feeling good. Yang Hansen, we have to do it. He had one moment, and Ryan, not to put you on the spot, but Ryan, did you catch any of the 2 preseason games or highlights or anything?
Yeah, it seems like he's upset with his translator because his translator doesn't speak into the microphone. That's what I know.
Was that right?
In a lovable way, though. In a lovable way.
Is it actually a bit? I think I saw it in the context of somebody saying that my favorite bit is this.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Those guys have a great little comedic relationship that they have going right now.
And
but that's the extent of my knowledge.
No, that's good.
Other than he likes to play
for a long
time. PlayStation. I think that was the thing. That was his. He eats, he sleeps, he video games.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Good on him. Yang Hansen came in, had looked really good in summer league. Then he played against the Warriors, and you're like, ooh, this dude's definitely a first-year player who played internationally, and he's definitely 20 years old. But then, Connor, the third quarter against the Kings happened, and there was one play in particular, and I know it was against Drew Eubanks. Shout out to the Shack of Troutdale.
Shack of Troutdale? You're throwing shade at
Troutdale.
He put him in the blender, Ryan. Unfortunately.
It was
I watched enough Jrue
positively.
Eubanks being put in a blender to where that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
It was positively
we've seen it before.
Chris Kaman-esque, if we remember the Kaman spin cycle, which is something that I very much enjoyed watching. But Hansen,
We are almost at a generation of people that are fans of this team now that have that will not get that
no
reference
clue,
anymore.
which is just very unfortunate. But they'll always have YouTube highlights.
I got it. I'm still.
Okay, good. All right, Connor got it.
There we go.
But it was downright encouraging, if I might say so myself. And listen, I know it's preseason, but you do want to look for these moments where players, especially when they're young players, especially when they're rookies, and especially when they played internationally and they're adjusting to a new game. Yes, it's preseason, but this is better competition than Summer League. And to see him look as confident as he did was very encouraging. Now, it was funny because it like you could see it visually, that especially the first couple of things he did right, he gave like a little fist pump. Like he's maybe a little too, he was like, yeah, like, which is cute, but also like, maybe
You could see it was like it lifted him from like a fog of like kind of unsure.
Totally.
Like his confidence just really broke through after he made the first 2 shots.
So here's my hot take. It's very useful if your backup center can occasionally abuse other backup centers. Like he doesn't have to go out and be cooking Anthony Davis. Like the fact that he can more than hold his own or find ways to do clever little things against second lineups, second units is great. And so I don't know, like small sample size, it was very encouraging to see. That's it.
So the other note that I'm now taking from this is that it sounds like I can look forward to the excitement of that when the Blazers bench comes in. They may not constantly just get their ass kicked and hand away every other lead.
Oh, I don't know if I go that far.
Okay? It sounded like that's what you were trying to go.
You
for,
can look
but-
forward to the because when he got it cooking, the arena was nuts for a preseason game. So you can look forward to that excitement of like he is a celebrity, big time celebrity, and you can kind of feel his presence. It's probably the most exciting 5 minutes of preseason basketball I've ever watched. Just
Nice.
But yeah, he showed kind of like the flashes of why people are so kind of enamored by his talent. The one move he did on Jrue Ryan was because he hit 2 threes, then he got offensive rebound, pushed it up, got it back, finished the layup, and then a few plays later, got the ball at the top of the key, up fake, got Jrue Eubanks to kind of bite a little bit, dribbled hard to the paint, behind the back, and then quickly into a spin move over Jrue. The crowd was oohing and on. Like it was the type of play that you're like, oh, this is special for a guy this size to be doing that.
It was nice.
Just on the theme of like trying to show why you should be excited about the team this year, Ryan. So we have like better role clarity. You have Jrue Holiday, 3-time NBA Teammate of the Year award. Like, how can you not like this professional guy right there? And then Hansen for being like just another rootable, like a guy you want to root for. He has this entire country,
Real rootable guy.
The entire country of China is like putting all this pressure on him to deliver and be their next good player since Yao. And it just seems like so much pressure, and he stays so humble and grounded and funny through it all. Like I would be concerned just about what that would do for somebody's mentality when they're 20 years old, taking on all that while coming to a new country.
It's only 1.4 billion people that are you're carrying their hopes and dreams on your shoulders.
So just from the human interest story of Hansen, like he's a guy you would really want to succeed as he's making this huge adjustment.
He looks like a lovable puppy dog. I just want to scratch him behind the ears.
He's a cool dude, and he's a fan favorite, and he's got real skill. I mean, I'm interested in watching that throughout the year, and Ryan, you should be too. Okay, I mean, I feel like we covered some ground today. I'm a bit time limited, and so I might ask if there's anything else that we needed to hit on before we adjourn, and maybe call it a show there, guys. What do you think?
I'm
go.
going to ask Ryan one question as he's
Sorry, there was an almost home run. It was almost a home run from Garver.
Yeah.
But Ryan, did we make any headway? Did we make any progress in getting you a little more excited about this Blazers team?
I am. If Brandon promises to never do that crazy serial killer face that he just made again, I'll stay excited. But yeah, that could terrify me into stepping away from basketball altogether. But yes,
the real reason why he packed up his microphone and went home.
It was the awkward looks he gave me. I didn't feel safe
there were
anymore.
So many of them.
The only other thing that could 110% bring me back on the fold and make me forget about baseball. I'll put that as my barometer of if it makes me forget about baseball. But
doesn't baseball not being played anymore because it's winter make you not interested in baseball? Whatever.
No, because normally then I got to go through the same machinations I do have as a Blazer fan of like retooling the roster in my head and all that stuff. You do as a baseball fan. There's just significantly more players to do it for. So, but I'm going to be interested to see what ownership when they finally get a hold of things. And I know that's a little ways out, but what they do and what their vision is. I'm kind of curious to see if they can take a renewed interest that others like me may have in the team and build upon it, whether that be arena experiences and prices and all that stuff, and redeveloping things around Moda. Ironically, I think it wouldn't be bad if they tried to partner a bit for building if they want to build a new arena, do something with partner with the Portland Diamond Project. If they want to do any redevelopment, why not get the infrastructure of a baseball and a basketball team all in one foul swoop and develop out space like that? But those are the things. Yes, you guys have convinced me that there are things to root for. There are things that will keep my interest. I will say, if all of this changes, I will give it 10 games. And if everything you guys have said just goes out the window, this mic's going back in the box.
I mean, totally fair. If they get blown out on opening night like last year, yeah, maybe peace out.
I mean,
but
Scoot Henderson's
I have been a Blazers
back.
I have been a Blazers fan long enough. I am used to opening night losses. There was a stretch there in my youth, so it doesn't hurt my soul like it used to.
Well, just like in life, you can't really evaluate a season solely on wins and losses. You have to look at the stories, all the things below the surface that might make you intrigued. And if you want to be intrigued, yeah, you should check us out. We're at WeLikeTheBlazers.com or at any podcatcher. You can also find our work on Blazers Edge. Ryan, I want to thank you for coming on. You are quite literally always welcome on the show. Just speak behind the curtain. He texted me. He said, I want to come on the show. I want to talk about how I haven't watched the Blazers. I was like, okay. So anytime, come on. We love you.
I want to come on your podcast in which you and talk about the things that you guys talk about and be like, yeah, I have no interest. Sorry.
It makes for very compelling television, Ryan. You can find me and Connor. Ryan, you're not on Blue Sky, but Connor and I are.
No, I am.
Brandon
I've
Mullen.
been on Blue Sky. I've been there for quite a many months. I primarily use it now.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So fine.
Nice to know you follow me.
Jump on.
I should double check that. Ryan Whitledge, Connor Bergen, and Brandon Mullen, we appreciate you, and until next time, go Blazers.
Go Blazers and Mariners.